Intensified.
Ram-ba-ba-loo, bam-bam-bam-ba-loo. Ram-ba-ba-loo, bam-bam.
Intensified.
And while the clouds and lightning reach the ground, it's like my heart on fire for you. Little girl, you are my desire, I require. It breathes out there. It feels my emotion.
One day, one of my brothers, this older skinhead guy, was they were all upstairs laughing about and joking. They were playing music, and I heard this song, and I thought, "Wow, what is that?" You know. And I went upstairs, and they had an old Trojan record playing. One of the old guys had older Trojan records, and it was Barbed Wire. Barbed Wire was playing, and I was just hooked there and then. I've probably heard this 3,000 times since the first time I heard it, but even now, the hairs on the back of my neck just, you understand what I mean? It's like, beautiful. And I guess what you then start doing is you want to find out more and more about the music and the artists, and you start getting the versions and looking for the different versions and find out that was originally a vocal, and everything else. It's endless. It's not just all the English labels, it's the Jamaican pressings that never even reached England. And I mean, at the height of the reggae era in 69, 70, there may have been 30, 40 releases a week in England alone, and that's probably only 20-30% of what was being recorded. So if you start working that out, there's probably 200 things being recorded a week in Jamaica, and there's a lot of music still people haven't heard. Even now, how many times you heard this tune? I still feel, when I shut my eyes, I'm in the studio with them, because it's so fresh. Yeah? I think they're there, and man. It's very emotional stuff, Jep. Man alive. So there you go.
I was 14 in 1979, and that summer holiday was obviously Gangsters, and it was also The Prince, it was also Bad Manners came about.
A friend at school had some two-tone, you put it on, and then that was it.
Two-tone got me into Jamaican music.
But when the two-tone thing exploded, it really got me interested in ska and finding out where these original songs came from.
I listened to that stuff, probably Gangsters I think it was, and thought, my God, this music is amazing.
I used to go to London a lot as a young lad. I used to go up to Carnaby Street, and there was a couple of shops that sold clothing, Harrington jackets and mod clothing and skinhead clothing. And I found this fanzine, Zoot, and in it there's other bands. There was new bands starting to play. So the Potato Five, okay, and the Toasters from America.
And then around about 86, bands like the Trojans and the Potato Five and the Deltones, they started to gig and do stuff. And then by 88, Bad Manners were back on the scene, and the whole scene started to grow. So by about 89, we had massive gigs in central London at the Astoria with all these new third wave bands.
So every festival had a really different flavour, and it was really exciting at the time because we thought this is going to get really big.
And of course didn't know at that time that there was a whole world behind two-tone. You know, two-tone was just the next generation on, really.
I started writing to a guy in Australia who was really into this whole third wave ska thing, and we used to write letters and send tapes, and he'd send me tapes from Australia. And he played in a band called the Late Notes. I don't know if you ever heard of them. And they were trying to do some of the old ska and reggae, and there weren't many bands trying it, and they were okay. So I went out, I spent 3 or 4 weeks in Australia and met all these bands, the All Sorts and the Late Notes, and it really gave me the buzz that I needed to do a band of my own, you know.
Steve rang up and he said, look, I want to put a ska band together. Are you interested in playing? I said no, because I can't play ska, because I was a punk drummer.
But we talked him into it, and he said, I'll do it until you find another drummer, and he ended up staying for 10 years. So
When Steve said he was forming a band, he said, I want you to be the lead singer. And I always said, no, I won't be doing that.
Even though I'd only been really playing guitar because my brother had started, my brother was younger, and he taught me a few chords, and I turned up to this practice fairly badly equipped to play in a band, really. I didn't know very much, you know.
no one had ever played instruments apart from myself, who'd played a little bit of guitar.
It took a while, it took a few months to get it feeling right.
Initially we were pretty bad, and we listened back to the old tapes, and we were bad, you know.
Because we was more known for our kind of take on, at that point, two-tone, and being really fast, up-tempo, a little bit more on the square sort of beat side of things, less sort of traditional.
We played the tapes to all the family, and they said nice things about it, but really we were bad, you know.
Intensified weren't the polished, Jamaican-sounding 60s band at the first gigs.
What a way to grow up. She's a people shooter. She never got no care. She put up with all I live. All the things that she's seen, all the places she's been, all the things that she's done, but don't tell her wrong. 'Cause she's only 15. She lives in a dream. You do it like me. Well, you see what I mean. Drinking in the pubs, dancing in the clubs, staying out every night. What's it all about fun? All about fun.
This was the entrance. I used to have to stand on that door, looking out at people, whether I wanted to let them in or not. So busy, 250 people you can probably hold. Well, it
It's
probably
a really
holds.
small club, and the ceiling drips with sweat, and it smells, and it's all running down the
Horrible
wall.
place, but perfect for gigs.
Smoke,
Really.
because everybody's smoking, you couldn't see anything, it was just...
But the first ever Intensified concert, December the 20th, 1990.
And lots
There.
more.
£2.50. and nobody used to pay. They'd come in, all right, Richard, yeah, I've got 50p if I was lucky. The manager of the hotel was called Mervyn. He's probably still there. And he used to have people asleep, old people asleep, just above where the band were playing. And they'd complain about the noise. So he'd come and shout at me because it's too noisy. Then he'd go back in there and they'd shout at him. And he used to tell the people that this was nothing to do with him. And one of his customers in the hotel followed him and said, well, you said it's nothing to do with you, and it obviously is. And then he told them it was a charity concert where they were raising money for a dying child.
Our style was quite mixed. Some of the songs did sound a bit Hot Knives, you know, a bit poppy ska, and then others would be totally traditional.
And in that first year, we made actually quite a big leap from those early days of playing, you know, our interpretation of two-tone, you know, to doing more traditional feel.
When we formed a bigger horn section, that's when we started to capture a more Jamaican sound.
We made a very ill-advised purchase of a PA, which cost a fortune, and we were paying it off, so we had to do lots of gigs. So we ended up doing lots of gigs at dodgy pubs playing, and they're all going, "Oh, one step beyond," and that kind of thing, and then beating us up if we played badly. But anyway, as soon as we paid it off, the PA broke, and so that was the end of that. And when we realised that we didn't actually need to start earning money, we could play what we liked, we started doing better stuff. We stopped doing rubbish covers, started writing some proper ska.
So this is quite funny that they really had a great development in their going back more and more to this traditional Jamaican sound. And also I think they're getting better and better writing songs and arranging them.
After playing with bands like the Cosmics and people like this, who are very much in the sort of traditional field, it sort of inspired us really to do something along those lines, you know.
I mean, the beat's kind of reversed. It's just on. I think they call it one drop. You know, it's stunk, stunk, stunk. You know, it's got that kind of that gap before the big heavy drop. You know, and all kind of Western rock drummers just fill them gaps in. So you kind of got this like boom, bap, boom, bap.
And it really changed when Terry, the drummer at the time, changed his style from a more rock sort of style into ska, you know.
You know, in the 60s, in mid-60s Jamaica, they were trying to get their own identity to it. So I figured it didn't really matter how close it was because there was room for your own kind of take on it, your own flavour, to you know, to be original as well as being, you know, paying homage to a style or a beat. And so in the same essence, then listening to Hepcat, it wasn't like it was a competitive thing. It was like fantastic. These, you know, west coast of America, the southeast coast of England, completely different, diverse bands, yet still in a sort of similar linear fashion, making this fantastic music.
And then you slowly saw the direction. I mean, when Paul came on to singing, they got a wider spectrum of choice of songs. Unfortunately, you know, I mean, Sean and the others are great singers, but they didn't have that edge that would push the band forward to the more traditional sound.
You said you cared. You said you don't want no one new. And now my tree of love has fallen, and everything is awesome in my heart. Now what can I do? And how can I cope alone without you? A fear of life has gripped me.
My mother is Jamaican and my father is from Barbados. There was a margarine, it was called Vitalite, and they used the song The Israelites to promote it on the television. And I can remember my mum with a chicken drumstick in her hand dancing, because you just never heard reggae on the telly, on the radio, you just never heard it.
In love with you. Another verse. Now it's another day. Now it's another day without you. My fear of open places, strange people and their faces don't scare me. I feel nothing for you. No longer care or cry around you. I've moved out from the shadows to leave all those dark clouds behind.
I always wanted to play in a band. I didn't want to sing, not that fussed on singing, but I'm quite happy sat there. Ideally, I'd like to be sat there with the bass guitar and a nice roots band just chugging along. I'm not musically trained. I don't understand when they're talking about musical things, when they say it's on the half beat or it's this beat or it's that. You just play it. When I'm playing the guitar, your hand goes how I think it should go, and generally it seems to be, I seem to be doing okay. I don't know. But for some reason, I've never had any singing lessons. I open my mouth and it comes out. All I ever wanted to do, my dream from when I was tiny, was I wanted to make a record. That's all I wanted to do.
There you go.
when you have no money, you tend to find bikes, and because you never had no money, so you had to just find old bits of bike and just put all kinds of bits and bike together, and you just learn it like that, really.
Oh dear.
Very nice. This is the bike every kid wanted, one of these. In the town, we used to meet in a little record shop, and we used to go up there and have a cup of tea and talk music and have a donut and just hang out.
But I used to go to a shop in Ashford, and there was this guy we all got to know, a reggae madman called Jeff. Studio One Jeff.
At that time, I knew Paul through another little record shop I was working in. A friend of mine had the little shop in this town.
I think I'd done this recording. I knew the guy in the shop, and I'd done this recording. And I said, "Listen to this," and we was listening to it, and we was having a laugh. Saying, "Is that you really?" I said, "Yeah, it's me," and we was chatting and all that.
I said to Steve, you really ought to check out Paul's singing. He's such a fine singer.
And played me a tape of Paul singing with, it's just a studio type thing with a girl singing as well. And he had a really good voice. It was a really good reggae voice.
He had such a terrific voice.
And Toby said, yep, let's get him. I want him. And I was thinking, we've got Sean and Chaz. We shouldn't step on their toes,
I didn't like all that fast two-tone stuff they used to play. I didn't like it at all. So there's an old picture of me in the crowd watching them, and I must admit, I didn't like them. I didn't like two-tone and all that. I accept that what happened to two-tone in England and all of that, it was fun and it was exciting, but musically for me, having been brought up on a diet of the proper stuff, it just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me.
But Toby just went in there and said, Jeff, I need his number, I want his phone number, and I think he met him and invited him to a rehearsal without telling anyone. Paul comes in and it was like, oh, and he sung, and it was great.
I remember looking at the words, because I had a microphone in one hand and I had holding the words in the other hand, and I had the piece of paper here and the microphone here, and I was just singing it and reading it because I didn't know what it was. And it come to a break at the end of a verse or chorus or something. I just looked up and I saw Stevie Harrington grinning like you would not believe. Grinning. And you could see he was well happy.
I'm afraid to say that I'm partly responsible for Paul ending up singing as lead with Intensified. So, I would say that's my small contribution towards the history of Intensified.
I think they was just about to start recording the very first single, which would have been Margarita, These Feelings. And I thought, if I can just get on a record, because that was my dream from way back, that was the plan. That was the plan, just to get on a record.
Margarita was the breakthrough track. That was the track where we'd captured and felt proper. It had been properly written, properly sorted out, properly arranged, and it had captured an original feel.
I've been reading about the story of Don Drummond, and you know, this terrible story where he obviously had depression and mental problems and was taking drugs, and you know, his girlfriend, he was so obsessive that his girlfriend gave him too many drugs, made him sleep, so she could go out and dance.
Man in the street, his body abused. Margarita, Margarita.
And when he woke up, he killed her, you know, when she came back.
Margarita, Margarita, oh, I love you, I love you.
I still think Margarita is really good. I still think. It still stands up now, and that was in our first year, you know.
The lion's pride is destroyed. This man is back, just hiding the pain inside.
But to get that single and get it sounding so good and played and performed so well was a real high point, and then I think a lot of people picked up on that.
So I still think that's fresh, and it always will be. It's just one of those perfect songs, you know.
Margarita, Margarita, oh, Margarita, Margarita.
A friend of mine from Munster brought back a single from England, and I think he got to know Steve. I can't remember how and where he got to know Steve, but anyhow, he brought back the Margarita single, which I like very much.
They got in contact with Ossi from Mosquito Promotion, who is a good friend of mine in Germany.
I asked the band if they wanted to play at the Potsdam Ska Festival, and he came up and said, "Oh, you're Steve from Intensified. I love all your stuff. Would you ever want to do anything with this new label? I've got Grover." And it was, well, yeah. And he put this down on the door, which brought all the tracks together. It was a good idea, really, because he was introducing us to those that hadn't been following vinyl and things.
Look on you, won't call me a fool. Look on you, won't call me a fool.
The band is very special. I mean, they were, at the time when they started, they were one of the very few traditional ska bands that really put their heart into traditional Jamaican music, traditional Jamaican ska, rocksteady, skinhead reggae.
And he started working with them, putting out their CDs and organising gigs for them.
A little bit of ska. You might know this one. It's the Scatolites. Keep Tracy!
And then the first real album that they actually recorded for Grover Records was Yard Shaker.
For me personally, I think the best album they did was Yard Shaker, the first real album.
Yard Shaker was, it was fantastic.
It was great, wasn't it?
It was, but it was good fun.
It was written in Lewis's front room, pretty much over a period of 6 months to a year. And we'd lost Sean and Chaz and Doug and some of the early guys that were in the band. We were going in a slightly different direction. It was more focused on Paul being the singer.
Tell me that you would let swallow your falling and swallow your pride. Drink your milk, you back that. Walking so proud that you smell like a rat. Run your milk and champagne from your tap. It is so big you are going to collapse. Drink your milk,
Yeah, the first band I played with was 100 Men. This was, I met them about 93.
Which was a band that we were in awe of. They were the best skinhead reggae band
probably till the Agrites have come along.
I can take it to the top. Yeah. But it takes to the bridge, but it takes to the middle.
Once the sort of 100 men thing finished, Steve and the lads invited me to help them out with their album recording at that time, Faceman Sound. And that's really where I got on board.
The best album we produced ever was Faceman Sound, and I think that's because we had time to record it. We gave ourselves time to record it. Some of the others have been a bit rushed.
I'd say the best album so far is Faceman Sound.
And I think we were in a period where we were all fully committed to the band, and it was, for me, the best lineup of the band as well. Although there haven't been that many changes, Faceman Sound was about the best period for us.
Here we come again now. Here we come again. Don't be silly.
Don't pass it too much. I'll wear it for a couple of days, see how it comes up after a couple of days.
You miserable kid.
In Germany, we've known people to fly 150 miles to come and see us. In England, they wouldn't walk 2 miles down the road to come and see us. It's just a completely different mindset in England. To see people in the crowd in far off Germany singing our tunes as we play them, you know, it doesn't get better than that. In the old days, Faceman Sound times, days, we used to get on a bus and go through Belgium to get to Germany, and we'd always have a gig en route and a gig on the way back, and they were always really good gigs. I can recall quite a few.
You're the kind of girl who likes to do this.
When Steve was talking about the, they played a tape of the band I was in before Intensified, that was me and Kathy. I've known Kathy years, and I think she's a fantastic singer.
It was like a big part of Intensified, you know. I mean, she came out with us on tour. You know, we did a bunch of recordings with her.
And when we played live, the crowd really loved her.
Basically, after Faceman Sound, our drummer Terry left, and so we spent a time with Bruce.
I really enjoyed Bruce's drumming. He was a fantastic drummer, and he's on some of Cut and Shut as well.
It was a mix of a live show and a bunch of stuff that we recorded, sort of in between the Unpack the Dominoes years and sort of Faceman Sound.
And the other disc was our live recording of our 10th anniversary party. It's quite a hard CD to get hold of because they only made about 500 and it was never seen again. What happens with Doghouse Bass, there's a lot of different styles.
And that was a hard album to do because we had a bunch of tunes and, you know, and then we had a few new people turn up.
Personally, I think Doghouse Bass was probably one of our better sounding albums.
We'll find you, don't turn away and hide, move it
comes for some mistakes you'll pay. Each problem comes to pass just as night will turn to...
Good evening and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice to be here tonight and we're going to have a good time, right? Cry not for me, my tree.
Backing people has been amazing, and I'm sure everybody's talked about this, but started with Dave Barker, we've done Winston Francis and Dennis Al Capone, we've done Dave Barker again a couple of times, and soon to do Pat Kelly. We've done Alton Ellis, which was incredible.
Backing Alton Ellis, when we did those a couple of shows with Alton Ellis, that was something special as
Paul doesn't smile a lot on stage, but the grin on his face from ear to ear while he was looking and watching Alton perform while he was playing the guitar was just something else.
And you could see the guy was happy to be up there, you know.
You could see that he enjoyed having them backing him.
If you'd have said to me 30 years ago that I'll be working with these people and backing them in a band, and I wouldn't have ever believed it to be true. And I've seen a massive improvement in the last 15 years in the style and the music they're playing in Europe, and it's been quite a kick really to know that we were kind of at the forefront of that modern day traditional ska feel. So that's really nice, and there's some quality bands out there, and it's really nice to be able to go and see some of those bands.
Take back, bands in the sky will take care of. I see kind of girl, they call her glamour girl. I see kind of girl, the ones that do the sky.
I do like to think that Intensified have helped to keep the ska alive, traditional ska as well, in the old-fashioned way. And I take pride in the fact that there are a lot of bands in Europe now that are doing things similar to the way we were doing it 10 years ago. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's because of us, but I am suggesting that we did keep the ska alive and continue to do that.
Cheers, thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
Really got gold. I never, no, I never.
My name is Danny Hatcher. I was a skinhead, and I'm still a skinhead from 1968 up to now. Been buying and selling records, still collecting as today, and with this is our charity run-do that we have every year, Ska Night, with a band and myself to raise funds for local charities.
There was a club in Maidstone called the G Ranch.
The G Ranch, yeah.
And all the guys, they stuck together since 1968. So there's a lot of old skinheads here. Reunion. Every year we do this reunion.
The original skinheads are true believers in the music, fashion, and a way of life. It's always been that way. It never ever has been, as far as I'm concerned, a racist issue at all. We take every opportunity we get, we try to get it over that skinheads, 60 skinheads, and now aren't racist. It's not what it's about. I've known Intensified for approximately 12 years. And we go to see them whenever we can, and obviously we hire them when we can to do these.
They play a band like the old traditional Jamaican band. They play it in the old style, you know, the rhythm's there, so they are good.
I think one of the real strengths of the Intensified is they've always had 3 terrific horns players, 3 first-class horns players.
But yeah, the trombone definitely learnt by ear, and I don't know what the notes are. It's all triangles or oblongs or Zs, and that's all you have to know. Blow harder if you need to, and if you don't really know it too well, just play really quietly. And drink.
Badge has gone on busy with other things now, tour managing and stuff.
That's half the reason that I can't be at some of the gigs with Intensified, is because I'm off looking after 20-year-old American metal bands, which is great.
And we've had to bring in new brass players. Pete retired, sadly. It was obviously a big crush when Terry left. You know, I've been playing with him since I was 13. And then we found Charlie. Carl knew him from up that way, an amazing character, and brought a new angle again, never played ska.
Steve, on the first rehearsal, handed me a cassette. This is after 2000, but he handed me a cassette and 4 pages of A4, both sides written tiny writing, the complete history of Jamaican music. And he wrote all this stuff down, and all the burra drumming and all the different aspects and as to what I might have to do as a drummer.
What you've got to remember is Intensified was a small Ashford-based band. Everybody lived in Folkestone or Ashford.
And
now we've got people in Saffron Walden, which is 2.5 hours drive away, London.
The biggest problem we normally have is getting everyone here at the same time with their phones off and their heads here.
When I was younger, it seemed a hell of a lot easier.
It's always difficult to get together a tour for them because they are all working and have family.
You just can't take 2 weeks off when you've got a family, you know.
A big thank you and respect to all the wives and girlfriends of the band over the years, because you know they've put up with a lot, to be honest.
You take a band of people, they've all got girlfriends, some might have children, some have got work pressures. There will be pressures.
So it's very difficult for them to go on tour for a week. If they would play more often, I think they would be even more popular.
Locked up. Set list passport. Personally, I prefer to go away for 3 days, 2, 3 days, 4 days, because you get the adrenaline, and then the next night is better, and it gets better and better, and you're looking forward to the next night. And it's a really strange feeling that Friday you're at work, Saturday morning you're waking up, eating your cereals, you're going to the Stansted airport or whatever, see the guys, great, hi, have a laugh, have a drink on a plane.
Go on, Charlie, you go off first.
The thing about this 1 or 2 day, it really became an option for us with the cheap airline.
Yeah. The little guitars?
Guitars, yeah, 3 guitars.
The little bags have to go.
That's the biggest one.
You're not the most important though.
So, 4 skinny, small people. Yeah.
Charlie, do you want to come with us?
It's miserable. But we knew it's like winter.
We look forward to that lovely German food, man.
It's nice.
Well, the salami. German salami.
Can't beat it. How about a nice bratwurst?
Yes! Mit Senf.
There you go.
One of bratwurst?
Mit Senf, Schnellimbiss, Gyros mit Pommes, bitte.
Gyros is Greek.
But you get it over here, though, don't you? You get it over here.
It's a German word for Greek.
Exactly, Schnellimbiss.
She explained me that he's uncle.
With the t-shirts on them? Can do. That would be nice.
That will come out with the film.
Ah,
Klaus with the traffic.
Steve. So, thank you. And then when that one finishes, sweeten up.
I never said it.
It's going to keep me in the toast.
All you ever say when you see that camera pointing.
We're never going to remember these songs. Never in a million years.
So is this for health reasons?
So I hope it looks better than it sounds.
And you're driven to a venue, and you have time for one beer and a quick chat, and you're on stage playing in front of lots of people, and it's really difficult to get the feeling.
Every minute you're late on stage is of your own playtime. Have a nice show.
It's you I love, it's true my love, and just like the stars above that shine, 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 you light up my life with your smile and touch, your kiss so divine, you are mine.
And they try to do it very authentic and very professional in playing, but don't forget the fun.
And that's exactly what Intensified do, exactly the same. You go to a gig, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get good sounds, they're going to play a few new songs, a few old songs, and you're going to go home well happy with a big smile on your face.
You see me cry, you cannot see my broken heart. You tore my world apart when you said goodbye. When you said
said goodbye.
You come off stage and people always say this, you all look so happy on the stage. You always look like you're really enjoying it.
It's you I love, forever my love, with you it will stay.
I really do like them because I've got a bit of this British feeling to it, of this English feeling to it.
Don't give attention.
Lots of the American traditional ska bands are much more influenced by Latin music or more jazzy.
You know, the band have their own sound. I don't think it's, specifically Jamaican.
The words auntie now, 'cause one day she'll leave you. Oh, you don't know what you got. It's only so long that she stays in your arms, blind to what you do. The moment she opens her eyes, I'm gonna steal her away from you.
I wouldn't even like to compare them to any other bands that are around now because there don't seem to be any substantial bands out there at all.
I think very authentic style and doing all the things rocksteady, a little bit of 60s ska, a little bit of early reggae.
It's difficult with the family and the job and all these sort of things, I think what keeps us going is the fact that we're very close friends,
I think one of the reasons we've lasted so long is that actually we've all been friends.
I'll have a short word with you before we go.
I'll go on.
Who's walking in with you, Rachel?
Your dad?
Oh, Dad, hello.
They're all waiting for us.
Happiness for the future. Look after each other. Be kind to each other. Be nice. Remember to listen. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please put your hands together for the new
Congratulations to Lewis and Rachel for coming up as a lovely, beautiful couple with a wonderful family.
It was a dream, it's actually what I've always dreamed, and to have my wife singing with this is Dave Barker as well, which is one of our heroes. And he does some great tunes. He's a lovely guy. You know, you can't think of a nicer bloke.
You don't know the soul deep inside of you and I.
But we just love what we do, and I think we're very fortunate to be in a band that is still going after all these years, and it's still, I think, producing the better stuff. Yeah, 20 years. And everyone's still got the passion for it, and more than ever, I think.
And I get quite nostalgic about it, actually, you know, because I've known Steve for 20 odd years now, you know.
What would we have done if we hadn't played music together? You know, it's like.
Everybody that plays loves what they're doing, and it comes from here. It doesn't come from a book or
To be fair, everything in my life has been surrounded by music, right? And a large portion of that has been because of Intensified. You know, if it wasn't for Intensified, I would never got to travel around Europe and meet different people or experience, you know, that kind of performance. So, you know, Intensified is a very, very strong part of my heart.
I'm surprised that we've been going for 20 years. Very surprised. But I think we'll keep on going until we're really fat and bald. And hopefully my grandchildren will come and see me play, you know. And then maybe by that time I'll actually be good enough to be in a band.
Please. As a stylist. Is that my best side? Is that a good side? My glasses on.
Are you going to follow me everywhere, Mark? I'm definitely no Sea of Love because you keep moaning about over the credits and we're still arguing over that. Let me just say now, Sea of Love was written by myself. Although it may say Harrington, it is definitely can't.
How much did you write that then?
I think I wrote, admittedly it was one line. Have you got all this? I'm not happy about you keep following me around. Bloody bloke, he won't listen to you. This is one of the tunes.
Intensified the movie. See it at your local cinema now.